The hands will not stop shaking. 93 years on this earth, and they shake worse now than they did when I was 22, standing on Yamato's deck, watching American aircraft fill the sky like locusts. The doctors say Parkinson's. They are wrong. It is memory. Memory has weight. Memory has teeth. I am sitting in the Museum Cafe in Kure, the place where they built her, where they launched the largest battleship ever constructed and sent her out to die. Outside the window, I see the harbor, cruise ships now, tourist boats. The water is clean, blue, nothing like the black, oily sea I floated in for 6 hours while my shipmates drowned and the sky rained fire. My grandson Kenji brought me here, 24 years old, works for Sony. He thinks this is a nice outing, a chance to see the museum dedicated to Yamato, to remember the glory days, to feel proud. He does not know I come here every month, sit in this same chair, drink this same bitter coffee, watch tourists photograph the model ship. They smile, point at the massive guns. Children run around pretending to be sailors. Parents buy toy battleships in the gift shop. None of them know what Yamato really was. They think she was a weapon, a symbol of Japanese naval power, a magnificent achievement. They are wrong. Yamato was a coffin, a beautiful, ornate coffin built from steel and painted with lies. And we climbed inside willingly because we were told it was an honor. I was 19 when they conscripted me. December 1943. My mother cried when the letter came. My father told me to serve with honor, to die well if I must die. Die well, as if there is a good way to drown, as if burning to death has dignity. I saw Yamato for the first time in March 1944. We marched to the naval yard before dawn. The air was cold. Mist hung over the harbor. Then the sun rose and I saw her. She was enormous. Not ship enormous. Mountain enormous. 73,000 tons of steel painted gray and black. Her main guns were 18-inch caliber. Each shell weighed 1,400 kilograms. The numbers meant nothing then. Now they mean everything, because those guns fired exactly 7 salvos during her last battle before the ship rolled over and dragged them to the bottom. They assigned me to damage control. Third deck, aft section. My job was to seal bulkheads when the ship took damage, to stop flooding, to keep her afloat. I trained for months. I was good at it. Fast hands, strong back. The instructors said I might survive if the ship was hit. They did not say it kindly. They said it like survival was something to be ashamed of. April 1st, 1945. American forces landed on Okinawa. Command decided something had to be done. Something dramatic. Something to show Japan would never surrender. Would die first. They decided to send Yamato. We received the orders on April 5th. Operation 10 Go. Heaven number 1. We would sail to Okinawa, beach ourselves on the shore, use our guns to support the defenders, fight until we were destroyed. It was a suicide mission. Everyone knew it. Command did not pretend otherwise. The briefing was held in the assembly hall. 2,000 men packed into a space meant for half that. We stood shoulder to shoulder in the heat. I could smell fear. Actual fear. Sweat and something sour. Admiral Ido read the orders in a flat voice. No emotion. We will sail for Okinawa with 8 destroyers. No air cover. We have been allocated enough fuel for a one-way journey. Our mission is to beach the ship and provide fire support until we are destroyed. Enough fuel for a one-way journey. He said it like it was normal, like sending 10 ships and 4,000 men to certain death was strategy and not murder. That night, I lay in my hammock and listened to the men around me, some praying, some crying quietly, some writing letters they knew would never be delivered. One man was laughing, high-pitched and strange. He laughed for 10 minutes, then stopped, and I never heard him make another sound. I did not pray, did not cry. I lay there and felt my heart beating and thought about all the things I would never do. Never see my mother again, never grow old, never have children, never have a life that was my own. I was 22 years old and already dead. I just had to wait a few days for my body to catch up. April 6th, 1945. We sailed at 3 in the afternoon. The weather was clear. The sea was calm. Beautiful day. Cherry blossoms would be blooming on the mainland. We were sailing to die. My station was below decks, 3rd level. 6 men assigned there. Our job was to monitor bulkhead seals, to close doors if water started coming in. We did not talk much. What was there to say? One man named Tanaka kept checking his watch every few minutes. Another named Ito sat in the corner smoking cigarettes. The smell filled the room. No one complained. At some point, Ito spoke. His voice was quiet. I do not want to die for the Emperor. I want to die for nothing, because if it means something, then they will do this again. It was the most honest thing anyone had said in months. Morning came. April 7th. The alarm sounded at 7. Aircraft sighted. Distance 80 kilometers. Closing fast. This was it. 4,000 men knowing at the same instant that death was coming, that we could not stop it, could only wait. I heard the anti-aircraft guns open fire, deafening even 3 decks below. I heard the main guns fire 7 times, 7 salvos, each one making the ship shudder. Then the bombs started hitting. The first one struck somewhere forward. I felt it through the deck, a massive impact that made everything jump. The lights flickered. Dust fell from the ceiling. Then another, then another. They were coming in waves. Water started coming through a seal in the corner, just a trickle. But Tanaka stared at it like it was death itself, because that is what it was. The ocean coming in, coming to claim us. We sealed the bulkhead, closed the door, put our backs against it because we could feel the pressure building. The metal was cold, cold like death. The lights went out. Emergency lighting kicked in. Dim red bulbs. We stood in the red darkness and listened to the ship die. Heard explosions. Heard tearing metal. Heard screaming. Men screaming for help. Men screaming in pain. Ito said something. His voice was calm. I think we are listing. He was right. The deck was tilting. To port. The ship was taking on water faster than we could seal it. She was going down. The order came over speakers. All hands abandon ship. But we could not abandon ship. We were 3 decks below the waterline. The corridors were flooding. We opened our door. Water rushed in, knee-deep, then waist-deep. It was cold. So cold it burned. We waded toward the ladder. Tanaka was in front of me. Ito was behind. Everything was chaos. Red light, black water, men pushing, men drowning right there in the corridor while others climbed over them. I reached the ladder, started climbing. My hands were numb. The water was rising behind me, chasing me. I climbed and did not look back because if I looked back, I would see men drowning, men I knew. Then I felt it. Ito was moving too slowly. The water was at my waist, at my chest. He was blocking the way. Men were pushing behind me, pushing me into him. I had seconds, not minutes, seconds. I pushed him, not hard, just enough to make him lose his balance. He fell backward, into the water, into the men behind him. I heard him hit something, heard a sound. Then I kept climbing. I reached the second deck. The water was lower here. Men were running toward exits. I ran with them, through corridors, tilting more and more. I reached the main deck. The ship was rolling so far to port that walking was impossible. You had to climb. Men were jumping, stepping off the side and falling into the ocean. Some were screaming. Some were silent. Some were on fire. The oil on the surface was burning. The ocean itself was on fire. Tanaka was ahead of me, trying to climb toward the high side, but he slipped. His foot caught. He grabbed onto a railing, looked back at me. His eyes found mine. He reached out his hand. I looked at him, looked at his hand. The water was rising. The ship was rolling. I had seconds. I could try to help him, or I could save myself. I stepped on his chest, used his body as a step, climbed past him. His hand grabbed my ankle. I kicked, felt his fingers lose grip, kept climbing, did not look back. The water reached me. I let go and the current pulled me away from the ship. I swam, not toward anything, just away. Away from the burning oil, away from the ship, away from the men screaming. Then Yamato exploded. Her magazines detonated. The explosion was massive, a mushroom cloud visible for 100 kilometers. The shockwave hit me like a fist, threw me underwater. I did not know which way was up. I thought I was drowning, thought this was death. But I surfaced. My head broke through into air. I gasped, vomited seawater and oil. I floated in the debris field, pieces of the ship, pieces of men. I grabbed onto wreckage, a piece of bulkhead. I held on and floated and watched the ocean burn. 6 hours I floated there. The sun moved across the sky. The burning oil went out. The screaming stopped. Men who had been swimming gave up and drowned. I held on to my wreckage and said nothing, did nothing, just floated and waited. A destroyer picked me up in the late afternoon. Fuyutsuki. Her crew pulled survivors from the water, 476 men out of over 3,000. I was one of them. They laid me on the deck, wrapped me in a blanket. I could not drink water. My throat was burned. I lay there and shook and stared at the sky and thought about all the men who were not here, who would never be here, who were at the bottom of the ocean inside a ship that was supposed to be unsinkable. That was 78 years ago. I survived, came home, got married, had children, had grandchildren, built a life. I am told I should be grateful. I am not a hero. I am a coward who lived, who pushed Ito, who stepped on Tanaka, who climbed over dying men to reach air, who survived because I was willing to let others die. Kenji comes back to the table. He is smiling. Grandfather, the museum is amazing. Did you see the main guns? You must be so proud. I look at him, want to tell him the truth, that Yamato was not glorious, that everyone who died aboard her died for nothing, that I am not a hero, that I am a murderer, but I do not say this. I smile, nod, tell him yes, the ship was impressive, tell him the lies everyone wants to hear. Outside, I look at the harbor, at the clean blue water, and I see it covered in oil, see it burning, see bodies floating, see the ghosts of 4,000 men who believed their deaths would matter. I am 93 years old. I have outlived everyone. I am the last one left to remember, the last one who knows we were sent to die for nothing. That Operation Tengo was not a battle. It was a sacrifice, a ritual killing dressed as strategy. The hands will not stop shaking, not because of age, but because they remember. They remember pushing Ito. They remember stepping on Tanaka. They remember choosing myself over them. They remember that I lived, and they cannot forgive me for it. I wake at 3 in the morning every night, have woken at 3 every night for 78 years. My wife used to ask why. I told her old man bladder. She believed me. The truth was too terrible, that I wake at the exact moment Yamato started taking water, that some part of me is still there in that flooding corridor, trying to reach the ladder. She died 5 years ago. Cancer. I sat by her bed and watched her struggle to breathe, watched her lungs fill with fluid, watched her drown on dry land, and all I could think was at least she had morphine. At least she did not die in cold black water with 4,000 other people screaming. I am a terrible husband. My wife was dying, and I was envying her death. It is 3 in the morning now. I go to the bathroom, turn on the faucet, fill the sink, stare at the water. I do this every morning. Fill the sink, put my face under, hold my breath, count, see how long I can last before the panic comes, before my body forces me to lift my head and gasp. This morning, I last 47 seconds. When I was younger, I could do 90. Age has made me weak, or more afraid. I lift my head. Water runs down my face. It tastes like nothing. Clean Tokyo water. Nothing like the thick, oily water I swallowed that day. Water that had pieces of men in it, blood and skin and everything that used to be human. I should feel sad about my wife. I do miss her. But the real sadness is reserved for men who died 78 years ago. Men I knew for months, not decades. Men whose faces I remember better than my own children's faces. This is not how a human being should be, but I am not sure I am human anymore. I am a ghost, a memory that forgot to die, a piece of wreckage that washed ashore and pretended to be a man. My grandson Kenji calls at 9. He wants to have lunch, wants to talk more about Yamato. He found a book, wants me to look at it, tell him which parts are accurate. We meet at a restaurant. He shows me the book, points at photographs. He is excited. The book shows Yamato at sea, her guns firing. She looks magnificent, powerful, but the book does not tell what really happened. It tells what people want to believe, that Yamato went down fighting, that her crew fought bravely, that there was honor in the sacrifice. There was no honor, only chaos and fire and water. Only men screaming and drowning and burning. Then I see a photograph that makes my hands freeze. Damage control team, 3rd deck. 20 men, and I am in it. 4th from the left, 22 years old, standing next to Tanaka. His hand is on my shoulder. He is smiling. Tanaka, who I stepped on, who grabbed my ankle, who I kicked free from, who I left to drown. I am staring and cannot speak. My throat has closed. Kenji is watching, waiting for me to say something. Grandfather, are you okay? I pull myself together, force a smile. I am fine. Just surprised. I have not seen this photograph in many years. This is true. I burned my copy in 1953, burned everything that connected me to that ship, to that day. Kenji asks about the men in the photo. I point at faces, give names, tell him the official story, killed in action, lost at sea, died serving the emperor. I do not tell him I pushed Ito, that I stepped on Tanaka, that I felt his fingers lose their grip, that I could have tried to help, but did not, because I wanted to live more than I wanted to save him. After lunch, Kenji wants to walk to the waterfront, points across the water. There is a memorial, a monument to the men who died on Yamato, their names carved in stone. 2,747 dead. Tanaka's name is on that stone. Ito's name is on that stone. I have never visited, never wanted to stand in front of those names and pretend I mourn them, because I do not wish I had died with them. I am glad I survived. This is the terrible truth. I am grateful I pushed Ito, grateful I stepped on Tanaka, and this gratitude is worse than guilt, because I would do it again. If I went back, if I had to choose, I would push and kick and climb over drowning men again, because I wanted to live. Kenji leaves. I go inside, stand in the entryway and listen to the silence. I go to the closet, take down a box. I have not opened it in 15 years. My wife asked me to throw it away. I told her I did. I lied. Inside are things I should have destroyed. A piece of cloth, gray, torn, stained with oil. It is from Tanaka's uniform. I grabbed it when I stepped on him. It tore in my hand. I kept it for 78 years. There is a cigarette lighter, cheap metal, corroded. It belonged to Ito. I took it from his body after we were rescued, stole from a dead man, from a man I killed. Why did I keep these things? What kind of person keeps souvenirs of murder? I do not know. I only know I could not let them disappear. I sit at the table and hold Tanaka's cloth in one hand and Ito's lighter in the other. My hands are shaking so badly I drop the lighter. It makes a clicking sound, the sound of a body hitting water, the sound of Ito falling backward off the ladder. I pick up the lighter, try to make it work. On the fourth try, a flame appears. Ito's lighter still works after 78 years. I hold the flame under Tanaka's cloth, watch it catch, watch it burn. Black smoke rises. The smell is terrible. I let it burn until it falls apart, until there is nothing but ash. Then I hold Ito's lighter over the stove flame, hold it until it glows red, until my fingers blister, until the pain is so intense I have to drop it. It clatters into the sink. The smell of burning skin fills the kitchen. My skin. I run cold water over the burns. It does not help, because this is not about the burns. This is about punishment, about trying to pay for what I did with pain, but it is not enough. It will never be enough. I could burn myself every day, and it would not bring them back, would not make me less guilty. The water runs cold over my burned hand. I think about how easy it would be to fill the sink, to put my face under, to breathe in, to finally drown the way I should have 78 years ago. But I do not, because I am a coward, because I want to live, because even now I still choose myself over them. It is late, after midnight. I should sleep, but I will lie in bed and wait for 3 in the morning, wait for the nightmare, wait for Tanaka's hand on my ankle, wait for Ito falling backward into the water. And then I will wake and fill the sink and put my face under and hold my breath and see how long I can last. Tomorrow I will last 48 seconds, maybe 49, and I will lift my head and gasp for air and hate myself for gasping and live another day. The hands will not stop shaking. They shake because they are murderers' hands, because they pushed and kicked and climbed, because they chose life over honor. I am 93 years old. I have lived 51 years longer than my father, 67 years longer than Tanaka, 70 years longer than Ito. I've had everything they never got, everything I stole from them when I chose myself. And I am grateful. This is the unforgivable truth. I am grateful I survived, grateful I lived, Grateful I got all those years even though I had to kill to get them. This is what makes me inhuman, not the killing, but being grateful for it. There are 476 of us left. 476 men who floated while 2,747 sank. We do not have reunions because when we look at another survivor, we see the same question. What did you do to survive? Who did you push? Who did you leave behind? I receive a letter in the mail, plain envelope, no return address. Inside is a single piece of paper, handwritten, shaky script. I know what you did. I was there. We should talk before we die. No signature, but I know who sent it. There are only 23 of us left now. 476 survivors in 1945. 453 dead since. 23 left. And one of them knows. One of them saw me push Ito. Saw me step on Tanaka. I burned the letter, but burning it does not make it disappear. The words are in my head now. I do not sleep for 3 days. I sit and wait. For another letter. For a phone call. For someone to expose me. On the 4th day, another letter arrives. Same handwriting. This time with an address. A care facility in Yokohama. Room 214. And a name. Nakamura Hiroshi. The letter says, come on Saturday. 2 in the afternoon. Come alone. We will talk about Tanaka. About Ito. Come or I send the next letter to your grandson. It is blackmail. He knows about Kenji. Knows I have built my life on the lie that I am a good man. He is offering a choice. Face him or face exposure. I go on Saturday. Room 214 is on the 2nd floor. I knock. A voice says, enter. The man in the bed is ancient. 91 years old. His skin is paper. His hands shake like mine. He looks at me and I see recognition. Nakamura Hiroshi. My voice sounds distant. You wrote to me. He nods. Gestures to a chair. Sit. We do not have much time. I am dying. Cancer. Everywhere. 3 months maybe. I wanted to talk before I meet the others. The ones we left behind. I sit. Cannot stand anymore. I am shaking. You saw. My voice is a whisper. You saw what I did. He nods. I was behind you on the ladder. 3 men behind you. I saw you push Ito. Saw him fall. Saw you step on Tanaka. Saw you climb over him. I saw everything. The room is silent except for the beeping of his heart monitor. Why? Why tell me now? Why wait 78 years? He smiles. Not kindly. Because I wanted you to suffer, wanted you to live 78 years knowing what you did, wanted you to build a life. Then I wanted to remind you that all of it was built on murder, that every happy moment was stolen from men who deserved it more, that you do not get to die in peace. His voice is calm, not angry, just stating truth. I saw you, but you did not see me. You did not see what I did. I was 3 men behind you. There were 2 men between us. Do you want to know what I did to get past them? I nod. Need to hear it. He looks at the ceiling. The first man was named Suzuki. His leg was caught, trapped. The water was rising. He grabbed my arm, begged me to help him. I looked at his leg, saw that freeing him would take time. Time I did not have. The water was at my chest, rising. I had seconds, so I pushed his head under the water, held it there, held it while he struggled, while he drowned. Then I climb past him. His voice does not shake. He says it like describing weather. The second man was at the top of the ladder, frozen, paralyzed with fear. Would not move, would not climb through the hatch. So I grabbed him, pulled him backward, threw him down into the men behind me, heard him scream, climbed through, left him behind. I stare at him, this dying man who just confessed to 2 murders, who carried the same weight I carried. Why are you telling me this? Because I am dying. Because in 3 months, I will meet Suzuki and the other man. They will ask why. Why I drowned them, why I killed them. And I want to practice my answer. I want to say it out loud to someone who understands. He pauses, looks at me directly. And I want you to know you are not special. You are not uniquely evil. All of us did it. All 476 of us. Every single survivor killed someone to stay alive. We pushed, we kicked, we drowned men with our hands. Every single one. That is what survival cost. That is why we never have reunions. Because we all know. And we cannot face each other. His words hit me like bombs. because he is right. I thought I was alone, the only monster, but I was not. We all did it. All 476. What will you tell them when you meet them? He closes his eyes. I will tell them the truth, that I wanted to live more than I wanted them to live, that I chose myself, that I am sorry, but also not sorry, that I would do it again because the alternative was drowning. I will tell them I am human, and humans survive, and survival means murder when the ship is sinking. He opens his eyes, and then I will ask if they forgive me, and they will say no, because how can you forgive someone for killing you, for taking your life, your future, your wife and children, and all the years you never got? You cannot. So I will go to whatever hell is waiting, and I will burn, and I will deserve it. I sit in silence. This should make me feel less alone, but it makes me feel worse, because now I know Yamato killed all of us, the ones who died and the ones who survived, because survivors are not really alive. We are ghosts. You have a grandson. Nakamura's voice breaks silence. Kenji. He thinks you're a hero. How do you know about Kenji? I have been watching you for years. I needed to know if you were suffering, if you remembered. You do. I can see it. He coughs, blood on his lips. Are you going to tell him? Tell Kenji what you really are. I do not know. You should tell him, not to ease your guilt. You do not deserve that, but because he should know that his grandfather is a murderer, that the war created killers who lived long enough to be called heroes, that survival and honor are not the same. I cannot destroy him like that. Then you are still a coward, still choosing the comfortable lie. You owe Tanaka and Ito the truth. You owe all 2,747 the truth, that we killed them, that we stepped on their bodies, that we are not survivors. We are murderers who got away with it. I should go. I stand. My legs are weak. Thank you for telling me. You are not welcome. He looks at me hard. I did not tell you to comfort you. I told you to remind you, to make sure you do not forget, to make sure you die knowing what you are. A murderer. Do not thank me. Feel the weight. Carry it. It is the only way to honor them. I leave. Walk down the hallway. Step outside into sunlight. Beautiful day. Cherry blossoms blooming. But I am not grateful. I am a murderer standing in sunlight while my victims lie in darkness at the bottom of the ocean. 3 weeks later, I receive a phone call. The care facility. Nakamura Hiroshi died last night, peacefully, in his sleep. They are calling because my number was in his contact list. I hang up, sit at the table, feel nothing. Because Nakamura and I were not friends. We were accomplices, and now he is gone. Now he has met Suzuki and the man whose name he never learned. Now he is giving his answer. I wonder if they forgave him. I wonder if forgiveness is possible. I am 93 years old. In a few years I will die. My heart will stop, and I will sink. Sink to the bottom where Yamato rests, where Tanaka and Ito rest, where 2,747 men rest, and they will ask me why. Why I pushed Ito. Why I stepped on Tanaka, why I climbed over them, why I lived, and I will tell them the truth. I wanted to live. I chose myself. I am sorry, but I am also grateful. I would do it again, and they will not forgive me, because forgiveness is not possible, not for this. So I will float forever in cold black water, with men who ask me why, with guilt that never ends. The hands will not stop shaking. They will shake until I die. They will shake while I sink. They shake because they are murderers' hands, because they pushed and kicked, because they chose life over honor. I am 93 years old. I have lived a lie for 78 years, but the pretending is over. Nakamura ended it, made me see that all of us are the same. All 476. Killers, murderers, thieves who stole years from dead men. This is what Yamato made us. Not heroes, not survivors. Just killers who lived long enough to be called something else. And when I die, when I finally sink, when I meet them, I will tell them the truth, and they will never forgive me, and I will drown forever.